But just know when I get to that state and I can do that shit, it's gonna be a problem, you. It's really just gonna be a party treat.
Bar fight, here we come, nigga.
Nah, it's gonna be a party treat. But if I can control water, but if I can control water, your brain is made up of mostly water, so I can just look at you and be like,
God. It was the for me. Yeah.
You ain't gotta do much. It's
you
giving me
burn nobody.
It's giving me Magneto.
Yeah. Philip Jr. and the one and only Black Seas.
People of the universe, you're tuning into the It's Not a Podcast. It is me, Philip Jr., and my buddy,
the one and only Black Seas.
Yes, happy New Year, Feliz Navidad, happy Three Kings Day if you're Dominican or Puerto Rican. Happy.
Time out. Hey, Feliz. Hey, Feliz.
It's
Navidad.
Christmas.
Oh, okay. All right. But I heard you say Happy New Year, and then you said Feliz Navidad. I was like,
I've been telling people Feliz Navidad since Halloween Eve.
Look, you had me fucked up because I was like, hold on now. Am I tripping? Is Feliz Navidad not Merry Christmas? Is it New Year?
Feliz Navidad. Remember that in elementary school back in Hubbard?
Yes.
The good old days.
I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. I want to wish you a Merry. Yes, I do.
But yeah, so thank you guys for joining. I hope all of you had a safe and wonderful holidays. We enjoyed our break, or I enjoyed my break away from the podcast, but we finna hit the ground running this year, trying to give y'all guys some good quality podcasting. Mr. Harvey, man, how was your holidays? How was your New Year? All that good stuff.
My holidays were good. I spent it with family in the DMV area. We went up to, for those who may be familiar, we went up to Deep Creek for a few days. Had a lake house, and yeah, it was good to be with family. Now, admittedly, I will say, my anxiety was at all-time high because it's the first time I've traveled since I had 91 DVOP.
Okay.
But outside of that, everything was good. You know what I'm saying? As long as I was busy and my idle mind wasn't idling too long, I was
right. Yeah, what is it? Idle mind is a devil's playground.
Devil's playground. Hey, let me tell you, that nigga was at recess.
But remember though, Lucifer means light bringer, light acknowledgement. So maybe he was trying to give you some information that you needed, but I don't think this is the podcast for that right now.
Yeah,
we're gonna touch on that.
It's interesting you say that because that was one of my because that was one of my I may be using the term wrong, but I'm gonna say it was one of my affirmations or statements to calm myself. Was a new experience is not indicative of a bad experience. This is basically what it was. It was things that I wasn't familiar with going on with me that made me panic to a degree. So I was like, new doesn't mean bad. New does not mean bad.
Right.
And I was like, all right, man, I gotta find something to do real quick.
How many people were with you?
I think it was a total of 8 of us.
So it was like the Harvey family, and then
yeah, so it was me, Nick, Jordan, Alexis, my mom, Marcella, her man friend, and Alexis's mom.
Okay. Gotcha.
Is it 8 or is it 7? There might be 7.
So it was 3 couples and then 2 moms.
Oh,
so that's 8.
So, yeah. All right.
That's how I did the math, because I had 14 people in my house for Christmas.
Yes.
It was a unique experience. It is not for me. I can do a lot of people at the house for like an event, but like consistent. I'm just not built that way. And I'm not saying that it's wrong to have that many people outside of COVID or not, but I think just being the only child and it just being me and my mom, and then having a lot of experiences where I was at the house by myself because my mom worked at night as well as worked, teaching during the day. There was a lot of me
Yeah.
time, and I just
Yeah.
think it
That's
was an
your norm.
adjustment. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was an
Yeah.
adjustment, but I had fun. Got to expose the in-laws to some different things. Smoked the turkey. It came out really good. I was pleased with that. Used some of the turkey karkai for some of the collard greens and black eyed peas I made for New Year's.
Okay.
So one of my brother-in-laws actually stayed for about a week, and so they came in like the day before Christmas Eve, and then they left the day after New Year's Day. So they got to experience the fried chicken, collard greens, black eyed peas, cornbread, did fireworks for the kids, stuff like that. So it was cool. But everybody knew when Philip said he was finna watch football, he was finna watch football.
Yes.
But I took I took care of all the grilling and all that kind of stuff. So I did my part. I fried way too much fish on Christmas Eve. Because people like, yeah, man, so and so can eat, so and so can eat. So I'm trying to make sure, what I'm saying, I got, we had
don't nobody
pounds.
bring their appetite with them.
But no, it got messed up because I think there was soup that was made too. And that's another thing I gotta try to understand, because I'm like, if I'm cooking a meal, then why are we eating something else? Because like there were people who ate soup and ate fish, but they would have eaten more fish had they not had soup.
Understood.
So I was just like, because that's actually happened before when some of them were down here for, I think Kingston had been born, and we were doing like a little chuggies and huggies, and I think her dad and her sister and her brother were here, and her mom makes soup, but but they ate right before we got ready to go to Wild Wings. I was like, I'm not gonna eat soup and spoil my meal, but
basically,
like, hey, go for it. Because if
you're going out to eat, then what is, like, are you just going to sit down, or you just can I have a complimentary water, please?
Just give me the reason. But yeah, man, but it was all it was all it was all love. It was all love. And but speaking of, man, what's love got to do with it, man? What when you look at friendships, we'll start off specifically with friendships. What's more important? Is it more important for you to like your friend or for you to love your friend? And I know this is not one of the questions that we discussed, but at what point do you think that you fall in love with your friend? And I mean it in the purest loving way, not a intimate fall in love.
Yeah, not cracking cheeks.
That can go both ways. No pun intended.
So, man, for me, I think I don't know. It could go one of two ways to me. It could be a consistent relationship between you and whomever that is, male, female, indifferent. For my core group of friends, like, I can't pinpoint the day I was like, you know what, I love them boys. You know what I'm saying? But I just know that, like, our bond has been cemented. Like, for
that's a great word for this situation. I think that's a great word.
Like, it has been cemented for decades. And that's, I think it's just based on how we click, how we get along. It's not to say that we're alike, but the nexuses between us, or the next I between us, if I don't know which one is the plural of nexus.
Which next I sounds cooler than nexus, so we're gonna say next.
Yeah, but I've come to realize that it's super rare. I mean, like, it's not a common thing for you to have friends or the same friends for 20 plus years.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's not a lot of people who can say they have that, and it be
Yeah.
more than one person at that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right. It'd be a group.
I'm like, it's basically, 5 people, 5, 6 people at this point. You know what I'm saying? That I have been close friends with for most of my life.
Real quick, I just want to add. I think one of the unique things about our dynamic is we are literally in constant contact with each other every day.
Yeah.
Every day, whether it's social media, text message, whatever. Like, I mean, there's some 0 dark 30 moments here and there, but
Yeah.
those are very, very few and far between.
Yeah. And it's, you know what I'm saying? It's one of those where I don't believe, for most of us, I don't believe there's a week when we don't have some type of contact with one another. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I know for maybe 1 or 2 that are presently on fringe or on the fringe of communication. Even then, you know what I'm saying? It's still just a matter of, it's more so a matter of reaching out than don't know where this person is or how to get in contact with this person within, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say 3 degrees of communication. You know what I'm saying? Within 3 degrees of communication, I could tell you where this person is, how they are, and probably tell you who their employer is. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's that intimate, you know what I'm saying? Like and I can pull up on any of their mama house.
Yeah.
Within 36 hours, I can be at somebody's mama house. Boom.
Yeah.
Straight like that.
Yeah, that's dope. I think all of us have spent a decent amount of time with each other's parents as well.
Yeah,
it's more than a decent amount.
Yeah, I think it's to the point, and I'm gonna shut up after that. I think it's to the point now to where you can almost, well, I consider all of my friends' parents to be surrogate parents. I know that they're going to be concerned about my well-being almost as much as my actual parents are. You know what I'm saying? No matter where I am in the world, they're gonna want to know, is he okay? You know what I'm saying? Is everything all right? And that, to me, again, is super rare.
Yeah.
Because again, you can be friends with somebody and not really know their family. You don't know none of their cousins. You don't know none of that.
That's real.
And when I say my crew of friends, like I know cousins, aunts, like it's different.
Yeah, you're in the fold. It's not just you're not just on the outside. And I think for me, like as I get older, I recognize the love I have for friends because I think we can see the evolution of the friendship easier as we're older, because I think I can't think of a time. I can't remember a time when I didn't know my core group. And so it's hard to imagine in a jokingly, not getting emotional, but also kind of getting emotional. It's hard to think about life without my core, because it has honestly been such a vital part of who I am. And I think, like you said, I think the rarity of the friendship of that core group is what stands out the most. Now, I do think, and this is something that just came to me, so I want to get your feed on it, but I know there are friends who I thought I would also have this type of relationship with that did not go this way, yet we're still really good friends, but the dynamic is a lot different. And then there are people who I thought I was going to have that relationship with, and it just completely, I, I won't say like blew up, but like it is no more.
Yeah.
For better or for worse. And I know the universe and everything happens for a reason, yada, yada, yada. But I mean, you can still have your wants and desires and they not be fulfilled. You know what I'm saying?
I would definitely agree with that. I think that yeah, I don't have any mods to that statement that you made. Like there are people who I didn't see a long-term relationship happening with that I have stayed in contact with. And again, it's one of those situations. I won't say it's just like my core, my foundational friends, I'll say. But I'll be damned if they ain't the floorboards. You know what I'm saying? Like they look, I mean, they damn near close to being foundational. Like and I think you and I recently talked about one in particular, like Petra. Like she started out, yes, we were in the band together. Yes, we were in the same major. So yeah, you're cool with them. And you spend a lot of time with one another when you're into
friends of convenience.
Yeah, it's friends of convenience. But like, man, I'm coming up on 20 years I've been out of high school, which means I'm damn near close to 20 years of being out of college. And me and Petra we still keep in contact. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those situations to where she has met my family, I have met her family. Like Nick and I have been to her house for Thanksgiving. It's like that. You just never know. And it's been that way with a few of my friends from Gran, and it's the exact opposite with some folks that I've known since fifth grade.
Yeah.
Where yes, we're still good friends. I would say we're still good friends, but I don't know their ongoings.
As you talk, I just have more and more questions that weren't necessarily a part of the specific topic that we were trying to go on, because we were talking about what's more important, love or like. But now, as we just talk about friendship, it makes me just think about the evolution of friendships and how they work. Because I'll say, for example, like Jermaine, that was my boy in high school. And I think he and I were always cool. But I think once you and Brandon left and went to Grambling and you guys weren't there, he was the next closest person. Yeah. So I spent a lot of my free time with him. I don't think we had any classes together our senior year, but between going over his house, even though his mom was not there, or going over grandma's house on James Street, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't know what sign to throw up to not get into any trouble, so I just won't throw up any signs. But I go to grandma's house, she feed me and all that good stuff.
Universal gang sign.
There you go. Come to find out though, he's actually some of my family. Like his mom and my mom are cousins through my grandmother's side of my dad's lineage. So it was just funny to see how we ended up connecting. But once I went off to school, we kind of separated a little bit. And then when I got out of Grambling, we were still pretty cool. And when he got married, I was his best man. And that was a pretty cool, interesting experience. But since then, we haven't been communicating as much, but we still chat maybe once every 2-3 months. We'll just, say something on Facebook or something like that. Yeah. But that was a person that I thought was going to be around more. And I'm pretty sure both of us have fallen off with communication. I'm not blaming him by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm just saying, like, that's a situation where we were so tight, we were so close, and then for whatever reason, things kind of spread apart.
Yeah.
But I feel like if I wanted to talk to him, it wouldn't be a situation where it's like, do I really want to answer this call? Do I really want to respond to this text? Because I'm sure there's some people from my past that might be like, I don't even know if I want to talk to this dude. And there's some people that I feel that way about too.
For sure.
But I feel like he and a few others would be those people that are like, you know what? If I wanted to actually just talk for 10, 15 minutes, everything would be cool.
Yeah. And that's, and I think to get back to the core of what we were talking about, I think you can, well, one, I think love and loyalty have levels. Um, I think the intensity of your love for someone affects how loyal you are. Like, are you
I get
loyal
what you're
to a
saying.
fault? Are you loyal to a fault, or are you loyal to, uh, what I'm saying, ensuring that nothing you do causes those persons any intentional harm?
Hmm.
Um, like, I think loyalty can be perverted easily. I think love is one of
Especially when
those
it's blind.
things. Yeah, I think love is one of those things, like you kind of hit me to or enlighten me to. Love is has to be defined,
Hmm.
because what I view as love and what you view as love could be two completely different things. And if you don't define the language you use in the conversation, there's going to be miscommunication.
Yeah. On a side note, that is something that I've been stressing in conversations with people, or even just like friendly debates.
Yeah,
I'm like, what does this mean to you? And then let's have the conversation.
correct.
Because if we're having the conversation and we don't even know what we're talking about, we don't even know this specimen that we're looking at, we can't truly have the correct conversation around it.
Yeah,
But I think all friendships, all relationships start off with a certain level of like. And then once
correct.
that like grows, there's a certain level of love. But I think within that like, there's going to be a certain level of loyalty. I think that the the loyalty that you have for somebody also stems from the amount of love you feel from that person too. And
Yes.
and in some ways it's kind of wrong, because it's like you shouldn't let how somebody feels about you dictate how you're going to do them. But I also feel like for example, let's say both of us, we only got $20 in our bank account, and I know that if I asked you for $5, you would try to just give me $2. But if you ask me for $10 and I would try to give you $10, I would go above and beyond. It's like,
Yeah.
if I know you wouldn't necessarily do that for me, and we are of the same means, and I don't mean just money, but like able-bodied enough to do X,
Yeah.
Y, and Z,
Yeah.
then it's like, how loyal, how committed can I be to this if there's not a certain level of reciprocity? I believe Gabriel
Yeah.
Union used a while back,
Yeah.
talk about the right
Reciprocity.
way.
Yeah, that's correct. And I love that you use the bank thing, because that's like, I don't know if it's something that I've expressed or conveyed to you, but that's something that I had to start
Oh,
using
you
for
you you've
myself.
used that analogy with energy more so
Okay.
than loyalty,
Yeah.
but I think energy and loyalty is the same thing, because
Yeah.
like
Because for me, it has been the friendship bank.
mhm, mhm,
And uh when you don't have money in the account,
mhm,
you can't withdraw that money
mhm,
without penalty. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you can get it, but it's gonna cost you.
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
And I think that's um the love felt from someone is it is unfortunately, for those who um who don't think deep enough to have that person define what they believe love is.
mhm,
Unfortunately, it could leave them at a disadvantage. But I do believe that the love that you act upon, because that's
mhm,
another thing that people I think they feel as though love is a just a phrase, but it's an
mhm,
action. How you love someone, one has to be defined or explained, and for those people that you love, they have to have an understanding of that explanation. in order to receive it, because you could be sending love all damn day.
Right.
But if they're numb to the bullshit, I'm just using the bullshit as a loose term. Then they might hit you with the "you don't love me," which is going to punch you in the chest, because I love your dirty draws, but
Right.
but you're so rigid in your definition of love that you're not accepting of the love that I'm able to provide for you.
Right. It goes into that love language stuff, and that's more so for like a partner or for a mate or for a spouse. Because everybody's different. And like you said, like I can be giving you love all day, but it is not in the way that you would define it. So you don't look at the things that I've done, the quote unquote sacrifices, or the certain obligations that I feel like I have for you, are not met with the response that I would assume they would be if you felt as though that love was being given.
Correct.
Because like I speak in my relationship, I think we're very different with our love languages, and I think also within that, I've always tried to explain the conversation that while an act may not have been in that person's love language, I still think we have to do a better job of translating their love language into mine and mine into theirs. So while it may not be something that I necessarily would have cared for, I still need to appreciate the fact that this was a gesture that they wanted
done from love.
Yeah. Right. And it was done from love. So the intent was to make you feel loved.
Yes.
And while it may not have been something that you preferred, the intent was right.
Correct.
And they still need to be rewarded for that or appreciated for that.
Exactly. And I think appreciation is the ultimate reward of love. And you can go and write that down. Because I think at the end of the day, when we put forth effort, those that are receiving said effort, the biggest thing they could do is just show some appreciation for it. Yeah. And I know that's something that I have fallen short on in my relationship is I don't always see it in the moment. That this is an extreme display of love. You know what I'm saying? And I say extreme, but like this is a clear expression of love.
Clear and concise.
You know what I'm saying? This is what she wants to use as her conduit to
her outlet,
to tell me, to show me that she loves me. And I can receive the gesture, but as far as appreciation, I'm so in my head about just life in general that I miss it in the moment. But on those rare instances where my brain is cooling off and I actually can have a cognizant moment, I try to make use of those to do those things I know that she loves, and to say the words, you know what I'm saying, speak phrases of appreciation, because again, at the end of the day, I think anyone just wants to be seen and appreciated.
Oh yeah.
I think that's at the foundation. I think everything else is bells and whistles, but the car and the tires are appreciation and to be acknowledged that effort was put forth.
And I think it's funny because I was sitting on the back porch with my brother-in-law while the meat was cooking on the grill, and their two wives came out there. They was like, well, we could do this and y'all don't want to do this and blah blah blah. And they asked me for my opinion. And I was like, well, yeah. I said everybody's situation is different. I was like, one brother works 6 days a week, another brother's kind of like in the military and stuff like that. So he's not active duty, like he actually lives in Connecticut or whatever. So, but I'm like, everybody's relationship is different. So you got to find stuff that works within the relationship. I said, but frankly, I hear y'all saying that y'all want small things that they can do, but a lot of times people will do small gestures, but then those gestures aren't appreciated because they're too small. And I've had that conversation before as well. It's like they'll say, oh, well, you can do little things, but the little things that are done are either not acknowledged, realized, or appreciated. And then if you do realize them, well, was that it really wasn't good enough because it was too small. So which one is it?
Yeah.
So I think to love language and to the effort and to the intent, I think if you're the person that's receiving that love, you have to be very mindful of your response to a said thing, because it can be off-putting to people if they're making efforts. And sometimes those small gestures take more effort than what's on the surface. You see, it's like a duck. You see the duck on the floating on the water, but up under the water.
Yeah.
I mean, all that's going on. So,
and you also have to take into consideration those things that you think take little effort. It's because you're used to doing them. But when it's someone else, they have to first figure out, okay, how do I do said small thing? And it also be, for those who think to this degree, and then it also be, of a certain quality.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Don't half step.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's something that, that I think humans have to accept, that sometimes I'll go as far as saying most times perfection, it should not be the gauge. It should be completion.
Gotcha.
I can completion to do the act, because the more that you do the act, the more you can refine the act.
Yeah, it's like laying a brick. I think I've mentioned this before. The goal is not to build a wall.
It is to lay one perfect brick.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's it. You gotta lay the perfect brick.
That one stuck with me. That one definitely stuck with me.
But like for me, man, like I'm a simple person. I don't need much. Like, more than anything, like just leave me alone. Or if I feel like being silly, just let me make my joke. Cause I think with my situation, I'm a lot more uncouth with my humor.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't joke around that much in the house anyway, because I know that. But it's like when I do, it's like, man, just let me have this one.
Just humor me, please.
Yeah, just God damn,
But you have to, with that request, there also has to be some grace given, because that is not your audience's norm. So that has to be programmed in as well.
Right. But if it's 6 times a year and it don't even necessarily fall within the quadrant, it's like,
I hear you. I hear you. I hear you.
Small event.
Go ahead. Talk to me.
I get asked to do stuff all the time. And my domicile cohabitant, like I did that.
Your co-taxpayer.
They've never made a drink for me. So like that whole honey, go get me a beer. That's never happened to me in my lifetime.
But have you ever asked her to go get you a beer?
Yes.
Now that's interesting.
And I've also asked them to make me a whiskey sour, equal parts whiskey, equal parts sour mix, ice.
Okay.
Understood. I don't know how to make it. I'm like,
okay. Started it. Okay. And I'm glad you said that I don't know how to make it, because I feel like she's trapped in that perfection purgatory. And that's something that she has to unlearn, is that like perfect, there is no reaching perfect. Perfect is the rabbit in the greyhound race. We are the greyhounds. You ain't gonna catch that damn rabbit.
No, you're not gonna outrun it.
You can't catch it. You can't catch it. But I understand that that affliction, because I know sometimes that hinders me from accomplishing things that I have a desire to. Is because my first hurdle which it ain't 10 whole meters off. It's 2 meters off, and I'm coming out the blocks. Is I don't know how.
Yeah.
And I got all the Al Gore's internet to try to figure
All
out
of it.
how.
All of it.
And
Listen, man, it's I don't even care if the drink is good or bad.
you just want the effort.
Yeah. Yeah. And in that ways, I feel like more women could relate to what I'm saying because they want the same thing from me. And it's like, oh, well, just try to pick up around the house a little bit or do this, do that. Just let me see. And that's all I'm asking. I'm like, you can make all these dishes and meals and all this other kind of shit, but you can't pour a drink in a cup for me. God damn. Yeah. Now, a beer, I probably would have an issue with because I don't like a lot of head on my beers. You know what I'm saying? Say that for something else. I like a good pour, and I don't think I've taught her how to do that. So that, okay, maybe I can give you that. But to make a whiskey sour, come on, bro.
Yeah.
Bro. But speaking of Al Gore's internet,
brew,
it baffles me. Oh, by the way, I stitched
brew.
up some
brew.
So you know how you have this is the hole for your pocket, right? Yeah. This is the hole for your pocket. Okay. And this part right here separated.
And what a nice hole it is.
Hey, yo. So this part right here separated. So this is the outside. And then I thought I was putting something in my pocket, but it went in this hole and it slipped all the way down my pants. Because it was my old grambling sweatpants that I used to wear at 20. But using Al Gore's internet, I learned how to stitch the motherfuckers back up. So now I don't have a hole beside my pocket.
Yeah, Nick did that to one of I have a long, you probably remember that black peacoat there, that long black Ralph Lauren peacoat I wore everywhere. Mm-hmm. Where, you know, when you wear something everywhere, eventually it gets some wear and tear. And that happened. And I want to say my keys or a pen fell down the liner of the jacket. I was like, mother.
Yeah, drove.
Man, especially when you're trying to, it always happens when you're already late or about to run late.
Yeah, when you got something else going on.
But she correct. They're gonna crack my cheeks, life.
Bend over and spread them.
Fortunately, an experience that she had with her great grandmother gave her the skill to sew. So she, she got some thread and one of the little needles and things, and she
did what she did.
She had to cut the seam at the bottom of my coat to get my shit out, though.
Okay. Yeah. See, I have a little bit of sewing experience from the uniform crew at the illustrious Grambling State University Tiger Marching Band. 1, 2, 3. But anyway, I say about Al Gore's internet is because we used to live in a world where we had Encyclopedia Britannicas.
Yes.
We used to live in a world where it was like, go read a book. But now I find it that these boomers, our parents, at times they will ask us how to do stuff. And when we refer them to the internet,
all of a sudden they can't read.
Did I just strike a nerve?
Yes. All of a sudden they can't read.
Right. It's like, bruh. Like,
bruh.
You used to tell me, I don't know, go look it up. But now when I'm telling you, like, I don't feel comfortable with giving you this answer, check Google and I'll let you know. It's like, nah, that ain't good enough. You need to, nigga, answer me now. That's what I feel like my mom be saying sometimes. Like, nah, nigga, I want to answer now.
It's like, I don't have time for that.
Right, right.
And maybe, maybe them being on what I don't hope is the other, close to the other side of their hourglass, but maybe they feel like I don't got time to look stuff up. I got to live my life. Well, today, this part of living your life, young lady.
Right. Yeah, it's funny because like shout out to Lena, celebrated 70 spins around the sun yesterday.
Oh snap! I didn't realize your mom and my mom's birthday was so close.
When is your mom's birthday?
The 10th, and my father's birthday is today.
I think I knew that about your dad. Like I knew it was fairly close to my mom's.
Yeah, and Jordan's is the first, as you know.
Right.
That is interesting.
Yeah, it is. But
7, 8, 10. All right.
But we got her air fryer for one of her gifts for Christmas.
Okay.
And so I'm going to be teaching her how to use it today after I get from Kingston's basketball game. And
she's going to be hell when she learns how to use the air fryer, boy.
Oh, trust me. But see, I'm going to go ahead and get the wings today. I'm going to go ahead and get the wings when I go to Kroger in the morning.
Understood.
And I'm going to season up them bad boys. I got some honey hog seasoning from Meat Church. Shout out to Meat Church if you want to be a sponsor. But I also have honey bacon hog that's a little bit more fine of a seasoning.
Okay.
And I'm going to season up the chicken, put it in the bag, and then just fry it like that in the air fryer. I'm not even going to coat it with flour. I'm just going to season it and let the skin.
Okay, so you're going to roast it, basically.
Yeah. And then obviously you got some French fries, keep it simple. And so it is a unique situation where you get to teach your parents things, but it also is disheartening when you try to explain to them that there are resources out there.
Yes.
Because I prefer to come to people saying like, hey, I've looked this up. Can you help me? Not just can you help me?
Yes, we have had this. Yes, yeah, You and
but I
had
also know.
I was like, bro, look, I'm like something. And if I may, sometimes I don't know, and that's why I say look it up.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if it's something that I feel like could cause a greater expenditure of monies. I'm like, I don't know, bro. Man, I said, man, you're gonna might have to hit the internet for this one, just because I think from my perspective of if somebody tells me something and I spend my money on it and I find out that there was a cheaper avenue, then I not being not holding myself responsible for the actions that I took blindly without doing without putting any additional effort, I'm going to hold them accountable for the money that I lost.
You so said therefore, it.
Even if I don't say it out loud in here, you said it.
Yeah.
So I try to avoid those situations, and I have to remember something Nick told me a long time ago. Just because I don't like it, don't mean you don't like it. So I have to move ignorantly and and not assume that you would hold me to the same standard that I sometimes hold myself to.
Right.
Because when we expect us from others, we get disappointed.
Hello. Talk to him, Jazzy. So check this out. I think I've shared this picture with you, and I think this was the catalyst for one of your topics. But it's a post that says men pick their favorite sports team when they're like 11 and let it make them upset for the rest of their life.
Man, don't they?
I felt a little triggered by this in two instances.
Pittsburgh.
So what now?
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, that's just that's who I'm rocking with. But I was actually looking back at it. I think Cordell Stewart got signed when I was like 7, and that's when I fell in love with the Steelers. Okay. So I've been rocking with them for the longest. But it also triggered me because you look at like those diehard, like my day is ruined if our team wins. I have all the regalia around the house. Like I want that desire for a team, but I am too level-headed, I guess. I'm too even keel for that. Like I am excitable when I watch my teams play, but I don't do a lot of hoopla jumping around. I like to sit down and analyze the game more so than like, yeah, let's go, baby, let's go. Every now and then I may have to, clap or something like that. I may be a little animated, but for the most part, I'm trying to read defense and see what's going on, try to figure out certain things. So when certain things happen in the game, good or bad, I'm not surprised. But I mean, I think I know the answer for you, but for the people out there, are there any sports teams that you have that can ruin your day if they lose? Or was there?
Ruin my day? No. Take away from the goodness of my day? Yes. I would say Mary Persons High School Bulldogs, and at present and for about the last 13 years, the Crimson Tide. Roll Tide.
Shout out to Dean.
But that's about it, man. Like there was a stint where I was being birthed from the red clay,
Mm-hmm.
the great state of GA, where I was all for Georgia teams.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And on that faithful Super Bowl, when the Dirty Bird shit the bed, I woke up out of my slumber.
Wait a minute, which one? Against the Patriots or when they went back in the 90s?
When they was the Dirty Bird, the first time they was the
okay.
Bird
With Jamal Anderson.
Jamal Anderson.
Who did they lose to?
The fucking Rams. Was it the Rams?
No, hold on. Let me see.
They beat the Vikings to get to the Super Bowl.
Right, I remember that
because I feel like Randall Cunningham probably would have won that motherfucker. But I feel like it was the Rams. Wasn't it 98?
Hold on. I'm getting to the Wikipedias.
Because we had the Dirty Bird contest in the GM at the middle school.
Oh man, that shit was too hype, bro. What you talking about? Let me see her. They were the NFC champions, and they lost to the Broncos.
That's it.
They lost to Shannon Sharp.
Oh yeah, because that's when Brian Bird came up with the Dirty Broncos.
That boy so damn stupid. That boy is stupid.
But yeah, man, he was like Dirty Bronco. but yeah, man. And
did somebody get shot that weekend? Like somebody from Atlanta was doing.
Wasn't that the same weekend when Ray Lewis? Man.
Caught a body?
Yeah, I feel like it might be around the same time.
I think it was because he be trying to kill folks on the field and then he killed them in real life. This is what I have an issue. Go ahead.
Like he said, I can't never get it done on the field, but I'm gonna get it done in these streets.
Right. I gotta, a wide receiver route they call it a sluggo, like a slant and go.
Yeah.
He had a slug, all right.
Oh.
Which this is what pisses me off. Nobody talks about.
Somebody,
huh?
It wasn't a shot. He stabbed somebody. I mean,
I ain't
allegedly.
Sure. I'm
pretty sure
sure
it was a stabbing. I'm pretty sure he.
Whatever the case is, he killed somebody and he got away with it. Everybody want to talk about OJ.
Allegedly.
Nah, man, he killed that nigga. It's just
the NFL used to be a wild place, man.
The NBA used to be wild.
This is true.
Shit.
Who's the dude that hit somebody? Was that Starworth? In Miami, he hit somebody with his car. It was some bum that was in the street. He was hit DUI. It was early 2000s, man.
Oh yeah. He killed. Yeah, it's been a couple of NFL players to catch a body. Now you need to check out Michael Irvin's. Speaking of loyal fans, interview with Flagrant 2. And he talked about some of the coke parties that the Cowboys used to have back in the 90s when they was on their run. And they used to go down. Dante Stallworth is the guy's name that you're looking for.
I said Stallworth.
No, I'm saying, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Dante Stallworth. I think he played for the Eagles.
Yeah.
I'm not an encyclopedia, but I know a little bit.
Yeah, man, like that shit there, but man, nah, man, fuck that. The NFL will always be wilder than the NBA. I don't care what you say. Like, yeah, in the NBA, you might choke your coach, but you ain't gonna have people in your trunk. It ain't gonna be no murder suicides.
Well, CTE is real.
All I'm saying is, man, the NFL has some shit. But
you see, I think the sad part about it is half of the stuff that we hear ain't even half of the stuff that go on.
Oh, I'm sure that they cover up a lot of shit.
Man,
like I have a feeling that we only hear about 10% of the domestic violence shit that really be going on. Because I have a feeling these niggas be whooping ass at home.
Oh man.
Respectfully.
What old boy told old girl, he said, my hands are bisexual, anybody can get it. Man. I was speaking more so from the sex parties and stuff and the drugs. I'm sure. I'm sure there are a lot of them.
By 2 degrees of separation. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, gotcha. But I'm sure there are some Olivia Popes out there that can make stuff go away. But I can only imagine the amount of black eyes that people have received.
Man,
But I think
man.
I think obviously that's gonna change
No
nowadays
Fergie.
with social with no she's terrible by the way. But
London.
but you know, now with social media and phones and everything, it ain't gonna go down like that, thankfully. You know, all jokes aside, we are happy that stuff like this is coming to light. But for y'all women in the 70s, 80s, and 90s,
Man, God
I
bless
appreciate,
y'all. Y'all went through some shit.
yeah, man. Yeah, just like never mind. So you were I'm trying to keep it together. So you were a diehard Who fan. Who was the team that you were the biggest fan of at a given period?
For basketball, you know, as a little kid, like a lot of people were a fan of the Bulls.
Mm-hmm.
More so in I'm going to say my young adult years.
Mm-hmm.
I would say I was more so a fan of. There was a few years where the Celtics, I really liked them. I will always be a fan of the Spurs because they are, to me, the Spurs are a classic team, or used to be. When Timmy was there, they were a classic team. I love that classic, no flash, get the job done. Like that's what I like, and that's what drew me to Alabama. Was it was just football.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a lot of gold chains and you know, this player is this player is that. It was just they had quality players who went out there on Saturday and got the job done.
Yeah, the process.
Because what drew me to them originally was not even their offense, it was their defense.
Mm-hmm.
Like in 08, 09, their fucking defense was smashing in the face.
Yeah.
I liked that because I was like, woo, man, you know, my short gaming stint, when I played
the Dreamcast.
No, it was on Xbox, the first Xbox. NFL.
It wasn't NFL 2K or nothing like that.
No, I don't think it was a 2K, but it was that first NFL game. Not Blitz, NFL. Anyway,
it might have been Blitz. It might have been Blitz.
No, Blitz was that crazy game.
Okay, like the backyard football.
Yeah, the one where you can power drive people and shit. But anyway, like that, I took pride in my defense. You know, 152 sacks in the season.
Bro, that's 80 more sacks than the record.
Bro, I had this to a science.
You found that cheese play, man. I know.
I'm talking about I would shoot that gap. Bloop. I'd be on him before the ball was there.
Bro,
oh man.
I got a cheese play I use, or formation I use on NCAA, because I still play it to this day. That's my common.
I really wish NCAA was on the Switch because I really want to play it, but I'm not buying a console.
Yeah, it ain't worth it. But they're actually working on a new NCAA.
It's gonna have.
But I think it's just gonna be called college football, whatever, instead of NCAA. But it's gonna still be made by EA. So I think there are like one or two schools that say they can't use their likeness, but everybody else is like, shit, fuck it, let's run it. Man. But I'm not buying the Xbox One to be able to play it, or whatever the newest Xbox is. If it ain't gonna work on my Xbox One, then I'm not gonna play it. Sorry, I just stick to my 14 because they gonna update the rosters every other damn way.
They do.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There are people who literally go in and update the rosters, and it's fairly accurate with the player names, the teams,
and you just download the roster.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, that's how I still play it. So like every year before the season starts, it's maybe out there maybe like a week and a half before the season starts, and I just download it and I just start playing this upcoming season. And it's cool. It's enjoyable.
And that's on what system that's on?
360.
I feel like I can find an Xbox 360 pretty cheap.
You might. I mean, at this point, I heard somebody I heard somebody say, how you feel if a kid comes up to you and says, so you were born in the late 1900s? So, you know, not you were born in the late 1900s. So
Yes, I was.
that might be a classic. So that might be a little bit pricey, but
And I was born when bullying was allowed, and I beat your little ass.
For real, for real.
Allegedly.
Yeah, that word. But yeah, man, let's go on and close this out, man. Let's say something positive to the people. Oh, and by the way, I did post a podcast with just a compilation of some of our positive moments throughout the year. So if you guys need any positiveness, you know, just go back and check that out. That was like a little year end clip, set of clips that I wanted to send out to you guys. But yeah, man, let's go ahead and close it out. Say something positive to the people for me.
Choose to take care of yourself in 2022. That is not to negate those you love and care about, but it's to prioritize yourself so that you are giving those that you love and care about your best self.
I can dig that. Your cup ain't got to be running over, but it need to be damn near full before you worry about pouring out to somebody else.
Hello.
So just keep that in mind, just to piggyback off of what he was saying, because that was what I wanted to say is, you know, take care of yourself. But yeah, man, make sure your cup is where it needs to be before you start pouring out to anybody. Because you ain't gonna be no good if you can't do your part. So with that being said, man, as per usual, like, subscribe, share. Probably should have said it at the beginning of the podcast. You know where to find us, all that good stuff. And Mr. Harvey, kind of get that chill to close it out. Good, sir.